You're listening to the AFTERBUZZ TV Network, now the largest new media platform on the web, and your #1 source for after-show entertainment.
Very good, Chief Johnson.
The AFTERBUZZ Studios in Los Angeles, California. Presented by Maria Menounos and streaming live thanks to Akamai Technologies. This is AFTERBUZZ TV's Banshee After Show. We'll break down tonight's episode and get you all the latest news and gossip. And now, another post-game wrap-up show for your favorite TV show. It's AFTERBUZZ TV's Banshee After Show.
Hey there, Fanshees. You're here at AFTERBUZZ TV. We're doing the Banshee After Show. So excited. I love this show. Love this show. We're talking about Season 2, Episode 1, Little Fish. I am Matt Lieberman, and joining me on the panel all season long, we have the fabulous and talented Miss Oriana Leo.
Hello, Fanshees.
And the fantastic and brilliant Mr. Monis Rose.
Hello, how's it going?
Yeah. So guys, we got a great season opener for a fantastic show. I thought it was explosive. Here's the thing. At the end of last season, with the so epic, it's almost like gleefully laughable shootout.
Yes.
It's like, how do they bounce back? How can you maintain this show? And then they basically just spend like the first 15 minutes of the show just reliving it, but also just like everyone basically gets off scot-free and you're the sheriff again. Have fun.
It was all exposition. The whole first half was all exposition.
But also like delightfully funny. And it showed off this great new character, Agent Racine, played by Zeljko Ivanek, who I love. I've loved him ever since Damages, where he won an Emmy Award for a fantastic performance. If you ever want to check out an awesome show, if you haven't seen that show, check it out.
And
what
listen to Matt Lieberman when he speaks, because he knows a whole lot about television.
Oh, Oriana Leo, you know a lot about television. You're the one who put me onto this show, and I have to thank you.
I will toot my own horn here. Actually, my future brother-in-law is the one that saw this and passed it on and said, there is this new show, Banshee. It's pretty much all sex and violence.
Yes.
You better watch it. So my boyfriend and I thought, well, sex and violence, that's what we love.
Yeah.
So let's watch it. For very first episode, we got into it. I mean, it's like a little film. Every time you sit down and watch it, we would end up wanting more, and then also feeling like, wow, I can't believe they let them put that on TV.
Wall-to-wall blood and boobies.
Yes.
But also very well written. With very interesting, intricate characters. I was lucky enough to talk to Jonathan Tropper, who is one of the co-creators of the show, executive producer of the show, very talented novelist and writer, and we have that interview available on iTunes.
Great interview.
Audio only. Thank you very much. He was a pleasure to talk to, and we are lucky enough that we are going to be having special guests all season long, so please stay tuned for that.
Because we love you, Fanshees.
Yes, more details to come. So, I have seen the first half of the season. You guys have no idea. I know.
And can you spoil it?
It's so cool. I can't tell you anything because I know that there's people who don't want to know. But all I can tell you is you have no idea where it's going. You might have a thought in your head of like, oh, this is probably how this is going to play out because we got this conflict between Kai Proctor and the Kanaho tribe. We've got Hood, we've got Carrie, we've got Agent Racine, Rabbit's out there somewhere. How can this possibly? You have no idea.
We have these assassins coming out of nowhere on motorcycles.
Nola. Oh my God.
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
What was the impetus to watch the first half of the season? I feel like I wouldn't be able to stop, or I wouldn't want it ruined.
I couldn't stop. I couldn't stop watching.
So you had the opportunity to watch more than one, and you did.
And I did. I had the opportunity to watch the first 5, and I watched them all in one go.
Okay.
Episode 5 especially, very, very different kind of episode for the series. It's more intimate. It's just... without giving too much away, it's a big Lucas and Carrie episode.
So we have a lot to look forward to.
Well, a lot to look forward to, but I want to talk about this episode, the one that everybody saw, because that's the one they want to hear about.
Yes.
So we open with kind of a closed hearing. Agent Racine comes into town as Lucas is kind of recovering from his wounds from last season. He's having all of these rabbit nightmares and rabbit visions that just won't stop. It's a fever. He got a fever that just won't quit.
The White Rabbit, it's dangerous.
Omnipresent.
It's very dangerous.
Now, am I right in that some of those memories were still prison memories? 'Cause unlike you, I didn't binge watch the show. I watched it every week.
Okay.
So I don't have I'm not quite as fresh as you are.
No, it was mostly visions. It was visions of
The kidney twisting, wasn't that in prison?
Yeah,
though?
that was in prison.
Okay.
Then there was just lots of the scene that he kept flashing back to last season of him and Anna in bed when he gave her the locket.
Right.
And of course more rabbity stuff. Agent Racine comes and checks out the bodies that were dug up at the end of last season. We had all these cliffhangers. The bodies were discovered. Jason Hood finally resurfaces. For those of you who watch the end of credit scenes, he resurfaces. And we open on this closed hearing where Agent Racine, who's just such a lovable dick, he's smoking indoors, and he's like, he's such an a-hole
His
to
cancer
carry.
has cancer.
His cancer
I liked that line.
Beautiful.
So we're
line.
immediately supposed to have sympathy for him. We're immediately we give him the get out of jail free card for everything.
Which is what he gave everyone, apparently. He doesn't even care about Sugar and Job, who were just as heavily armed. What? Like, what about that book? He says he has no book to throw at Lucas Hood. Okay, throw a book at them. They're people with lots of guns.
He only has a few books, apparently.
I guess.
He only brought a few books with
Do
him.
his books have cancer?
They might.
Is he
Everything.
a cancer?
I think so.
I think so.
Oh, well, that's good.
But he has a get out of jail free card, so everything is good. Everything is cool with him. He smokes.
Yeah, at this point,
Indoors.
he's kind of like, well, I'm going to die, so why not just smoke it up? But he doesn't care about the bodies, which are quickly Lucas Hood, the real Lucas Hood's body is quickly stolen and reburied by Sugar and Job, our favorite pair of bickering sidekicks.
Do you have any other speed other than as slow as you know what? Mm-hmm. My favorite line from Job so far.
See, here's the thing. I love everything that Job says, and we can't say half of it on here because we try not to swear. Like, there's just one time where he's like, "First of all, F you," and I was just like, best line of the show.
We did not see him in a dress, though. We did not see him. He was not cross-dressing. Do we get to see all of his exotic outfits?
I'm trying to remember. I don't think we see many exotic outfits in the first half of the season, but hopefully we get more as the season goes on. I know a lot of fans were talking about between the seasons that they wanted to see more of Job's backstory. Hopefully we get a little more of that. Obviously, we have a lot of characters who were didn't get a lot of love in the first season just because there's so much story between Lucas and Carrie.
Right.
And we might as well get into it. Lucas, he's reinstated as sheriff. I love the moment where Brock is like, "Are you going to put the uniform on?" And he's like, "I didn't want to rub it in," because Brock is still so PO'd. He's got 18 months probation for saving this guy who he hates. And we'll get into a little bit more. He and Gordon may have something cooking on their end. But Lucas immediately jumps back into the action with the truck heist, which we were building up to all of last season. And I kind of had completely forgotten that this was happening.
Me too.
And then all of a sudden, after all of this courtroom stuff, we're just kicking it back into high gear. It's like, oh, sorry. Did you think this was like Mad Men or something, like super talky? Oh no, let's bust out some action. And what a great sequence this was.
Totally.
It was on caliber, I think, with those the action racing movies like the Fast and Furious. I feel it was pulled immediately out of one of those movies with the flip of this truck and jumping from truck to truck.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun, and you could tell that they were all having a great time shooting it. And Ivana Milicevic looked awesome driving the car and shooting a gun. It was rad, so rad. Loved it. And then they get away with the money, or so they think, because who should ride up but Nola on this motorcycle? She's got her machine gun. They only get away with one bag. It's kind of a failure. It's kind of a bust as far as robberies go.
Right.
And they're obviously very disappointed. They don't know who she is, how she could have found them. She's a lone wolf. She's an assassin. She can't be controlled. She's not necessarily on the Kanaho Moon payroll. She does what she wants. She's the character I honestly want to know the most about.
Right.
Because Jonathan and I, we got into it a little bit, and he's like, she disagreed with her father. She spent a lot of time away from the tribe, and she obviously learned a whole bunch while she was gone. And now she's back. She's trying to keep her brother in power over the Kanaho tribe.
Because she can influence him, I think.
Yeah, well, he's stubborn, but he's also not the strongest guy ever. Like, he wants to be more of a leader than he is, I think. I think he's more of a follower than he realizes he is. What do you guys think?
I totally agree with you.
Monis?
Yes, absolutely. But, the Nola, I hope we get to see her. I do hope we get to see her. She is.
Well, we saw a lot of her this evening.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
In the last act, I think Cinemax turned into Skinemax for the last.
Well, it wouldn't be.
That wouldn't be Banshee without it.
You're right.
You know
You're
what
right.
I was actually thinking? What took so long?
Yeah.
That was what I was thinking.
It's like, what? We have been watching,
for
45 minutes, and there hasn't been one titty.
That's exactly what I was thinking. That was a great face. For all you podcast listeners, you should watch our YouTube channel once in a while just so you can see our gorgeous faces.
I know. When I say something that I feel like I got away with something, I turn into a little Japanese schoolgirl, and I just can't contain my giggles.
But it was very stylized, I have to say, as you can get in romance
with
scenes.
The scars, both of them touching each other's scars. And I had this feeling during that scene, too, where I went, Lucas Hood is chasing after his past. He's chasing after Anna. He's chasing after... But that's not who he is anymore.
Yeah.
He was in prison for 15 years. He had to endure. I mean, he is so much more like Nola, and he is so much more attracted to someone like Nola than he should be matched with Anna.
Yeah. With Carrie. With Anna,
Carrie.
he had plenty in common.
Sure.
Let's talk about that, right?
Okay.
So, in the first season, he lands in this town and he refuses to leave because he is demanding that Anna come with him and abandon her family, and he wants to, if he can't have her, then no one can, almost. He's willing to blow up her life in the process. He finds out that he has a daughter.
Right.
It's a big deal. He can't leave just yet. He still has a lot of unfinished business. Now, as Jonathan said in the interview, the whole series is going to take place over maybe 6 months. It's a lot of compressed time.
Yeah,
the whole first season was maybe a month.
Which I think helps explain a lot.
Yeah.
Because you really get to see how boundaryless all these characters are. That they're just willy-nilly, sex, violence, all these decisions that they make and all these situations they get into are really happening in a matter of days.
Yeah, and speaking, just look at the Amish element to it. I mean, the woman really flips night and day. I mean, during the day she's Amish, and then during
Rebecca Bowman.
Yes, and especially in this episode, did she give up? Did she give up her Amish life for good?
I think so. It was. She has this decision moment, right, where she ran away from the mansion. She put on her old clothes and she faced her past, and she was like, I can't decide if I want to go back. Kai finds her, and he's like,
a great line.
Yeah,
he says, if you choose my world, there will be casualties. If you can't deal with that, then maybe you should go back to the farm.
And she was like, maybe I can handle that. Drops the bonnet and runs, and it was so rad.
Puts her face out the window and her hair flying in the wind like a dog.
Yeah, exactly. And we're going to talk a lot more about Kai and Rebecca because I think their relationship is so messed up.
So weird.
And fascinating. I just want to continue talking about Lucas and Carrie for a hot second. So, now that, I think there was a big shift for Lucas at the end of last season, as Jonathan was talking about. He was very selfish for the whole season, and then he's willing to trade himself in, and he's willing to die to save Max.
Right.
Big, huge shift for him. It's not something that he would ordinarily do. So now, what is driving him? Because he knows that Anna isn't going to leave. She's betrayed him. She tried to sell him out to Rabbit. There's not necessarily going to be a future where they wind up together, probably. I mean, I don't know. I don't know. What do you guys think is keeping him there? Is it Deva? Is he loyal to these people that saved his life? Is he finally finding a home? He's still, if you think about it, he's still only been out of prison for about a month.
Right.
What do you think, Monis?
I feel
You're deep in thought.
Yeah, I'm deep in thought. I'm overanalyzing the situation. He really wants to grow into this sheriff role again. I mean, he's getting another chance and another chance.
Yeah.
He's not just second chance. I feel this is the third chance he's getting.
It's the 30th chance.
It's the 30th chance. And honestly, yeah, for the most part, at least socially, I mean, luck is kind of going his way. Yeah, maybe his first and his love, his main interest is out of the way, but you have the other sheriff who kind of gives him the
we'll talk about Siobhan in a bit. Yeah.
You know, but you have these other love interests coming your way. You have the exotic, Nola out of
and
nowhere.
Rebecca Bowman and
so
the wife of that guy he killed last season.
And he still has these diamonds. He still has these diamonds. These diamonds are the be all end all. It still seems. I mean, that's still a plot point.
Sugar has the line in this episode. He's like, even at 20 cents on the dollar, these diamonds would be able to put you up anywhere. Why are you still here?
And that's the ultimate question.
Yeah,
that I think the whole season's going to answer.
I think so, and maybe it might even be what the whole series is going to answer, because you can't have Banshee outside of Banshee. I think. And especially if the time is so compressed, there isn't going to be like, oh, he goes away and he comes back.
I think that our beloved sheriff is reckless. I think he's romantic. And I think he's optimistic in a way. I think that the 15 years in prison and the things he had to endure, he can't undo his ideas of Anna, of Anastasia. Like, as much as he might think, okay, well, she sold me out and she says she doesn't want me anymore, he still has these ideas and this storyline that he has played out in his head for so many years.
Well, these memories, these thoughts of her kept him alive.
And I just think that, I mean, he's pushing his luck, and we know that he is reckless. He continues to make these reckless decisions, but I don't think that there is enough danger. There isn't enough. I mean, it would really have to be like his Deva. Her safety was on the line, that he would see that, and that would be tangible to him for him to walk away.
Yeah.
He's been through the fire a million times. Why would he stop now?
I guess you're right. I mean, granted, we have 9 more episodes this season, plenty of time to find out. We got a lot of reasons for him to stick around. We've got Deva. We've got this unfinished business with Anna. He's, got loyalty to Sugar, who's helped him out a whole bunch, and he doesn't want to see Sugar left with nothing.
But also kind of what Monis said is that things do tend to go his way. I mean, he's a wild man. He's crazy. He's a banshee. You know what I mean? It's like this crazy spirit that comes and says everything's going to go bad. And he's like, okay, he goes right in for it. Yeah. And things are still going for him. So from that perspective, why quit now?
Yeah.
I just hope we get into him more. He becomes more of a full-formed character. Not just, he just comes into town like, in the Old West and then rides off into the sunset. I want to know more. I hope that this season, that all of these elements that come into play make him a much more proactive and fully formed and fleshed out character.
And also fully formed man.
Yeah.
I think that's kind of where, I hope is where it's going as well.
Because he's a force of nature. He's very primal.
Yeah.
When he's faced with a problem, he fights it until it's dead. When he's upset, he bangs someone until he's tired. And when he's wrapped up in thought, he has nightmares until he fights or bangs somebody.
Or drinks. Until he fights or bangs someone.
Yeah. Or, maybe eat something at Sugar's. But that's basically, that's the thought process. I do think, though, he is deep. He is complex. Jonathan, in the interview, he talked at length about, I asked him, will we ever find out his real name? Because we don't know who he is before he takes on the name Lucas Hood. And he said if he has his way, we'll never find out. He loves the idea of the man with no name. He saw a fistful of dollars or for a few dollars more, at the right age growing up, and he loves this idea of the nameless hero. I don't think we need to know. We know who he is by his actions and by the way he feels and the way he speaks, just as much as we would if we got his full backstory. And we are going to learn more about him this year. That was the promise that Jonathan made. And we're going to talk a little bit more about all of your favorite characters, but first, need to talk a quick moment about iTunes. Folks, thank you so much for downloading this podcast, watching it on YouTube. You're the best fans in the whole world.
Whoop, whoop.
Bar none. AfterBuzz TV fans are the best fans ever. Fanshees, even better. But here's the thing, folks. We here at AfterBuzz TV put out 60+ hours of free content every week. That is enough free content between everything that we've ever done. You could lay it all end to end, and you could probably walk across the whole planet if minutes were feet. I don't know if that's real math.
That was a
I don't
good
know
one.
if that's
That was a good
possible.
one. I like
I'm
it.
just imagining a nice
use it?
rainbow bridge. Yeah.
Excellent.
A rainbow bridge of podcasts looping around the
Oh, I
earth
like that.
several times, and it's a
Yeah.
very sweet thought. But here's the deal, folks. We do this for free. I don't get paid. Monis doesn't get paid. Oriana doesn't get paid.
We get paid in love from fans.
Yes.
Yes.
But here's the thing. This is a free show. You know, if you're feeling generous, one thing you could do to help us out, and it really does help, go to iTunes, click on the show, slap us with a 5-star rating, leave a review. Let us know how we're doing. Let us know whether or not you like the show, things we could do more of, other guests you'd like to see, your theories about what's going to happen, or who Lucas Hood really is, what's happening with Jason Hood. I want to know. I want to know your theories. So does Monis. So does Oriana. And here's the thing, folks. These reviews, these ratings help keep the show searchable. We want to be the #1 Banshee podcast on the web, and it is the Banshees who are going to help us do it. We really appreciate your support. If you, for whatever reason, don't have iTunes or don't know how to use it, you can go to, you can email us, info@AfterBuzzTV.com. At the very least, we'd let our bosses know that we're doing a good job, and we love getting your feedback. Also, tweet. YouTube.
You can give us a thumbs up on YouTube. You can subscribe on YouTube. You can watch us.
Yes, exactly. And you can comment. We try to reply to as many comments as possible. I reply to every single tweet I receive.
Me too.
So
Yes.
does Oriana. Monis is going to agree to do that too.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
No pressure, Monis.
No pressure, Monis. But yeah, tweet at us. We love your feedback. We love talking with you. Let's talk about this awesome show. Okay. So Monis brought her up a little earlier, but I want to talk about Siobhan, Deputy Siobhan Kelly. Love this character. All of first season, I'm just like, okay, so they're gonna bang, right? This is gonna happen.
Tension.
The whole time. I mean, it's also okay. It's the one beautiful female cast member that he hasn't had sex with yet.
Right.
So it's like this is going to happen eventually. And we saw even more of that tension building this week.
Well, she has a thing for him for sure.
Oh my God, huge crush.
Yeah.
Huge crush. And he's helping her move into this new trailer because her house burned down last season. And she flat out asks him, so what's the deal with you and Carrie Hopewell? And he's like, nothing. You know, got in too deep, but it's not a thing. And of course she's asking because she wants to know whether or not he's available.
Mm-hmm.
Get it, girl.
So what do you think what's holding him back? Why does he suddenly have restraint?
Well, every other woman that he has slept with the exception of Carrie, is not tied to his alias as Lucas. You know, like it's even though he's not really Lucas Hood, or especially because he's not really Lucas Hood, you don't sleep with people you work with. Like, that's bad news. Once you're developing those kinds of attachments and then they're spilling over into the workplace, which is already shaky because you're a criminal who's lying about who you are.
On the lamb.
Yeah, it's bad news.
There is an old saying about something about eating and working.
Right.
Oh,
he doesn't want to poop where
he eats.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm so glad you said that, not me.
All right. Excellent.
Yeah.
Yes. Maybe a guy needs to say that.
I just love the way that you said poop. That's just so funny. You were like,
that was your first softball.
Yeah.
Good job. I was
All right.
knocked it out of the park.
Thank you. Well, I could have been more vulgar.
You were so
but
nervous about saying poop. It was the funniest thing I've ever heard. Is this the poop where you?
Be gentle. Be gentle with me. I told you.
Oh yeah, this is Monis's first AfterBuzz podcast.
Isn't he doing
ever.
great, people?
He's doing a great
Round of
job.
applause. Yay.
Thank you.
Yeah, show him some love on the Twitter after the show. So I think that now I've seen the first half of the season.
Yeah, so be quiet.
I will. What do you guys think? Where's this going?
Bow chicka wow wow. That's where I think it's going.
Really?
Wow, wow, town?
Yes.
Wow.
Yes. Let's
Pound
bring it,
Town.
Let's bring it to Cinemax style.
Okay.
I
Yes.
don't think so.
No?
No, I would predict the other way. I would say that the one thing he's done right so far
Is not sleep with her.
not sleep with her, and he would continue to do that because, like you said, you don't poop where you eat.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna guess because of Deva. Like, he needs someone that's on his side, that's within the force, that can pull strings, and as long as she has a crush on him, and he can't screw that up until he sleeps with her.
I guess that's true, but what if she initiates contact?
And he is an animal. He is a beast.
Yeah. He's a beast.
Well, we're gonna have to save that for predictions,
Right.
but yeah, I think that there's one
speck of
iota
goodness,
of common
smarts,
sense,
yeah.
of like, who am I gonna have in my corner when it comes to the
It's true,
force?
yeah.
Because everyone else hates him.
It's true, and she's the one who convinced Brock to go in and try to save him.
Yes.
She backs him up.
Yeah.
I agree.
She kind of
She's
believes
important.
in him, and
Yeah.
she's a little starry-eyed over him, and I think he needs to use that to his advantage. Whether he does or not beats me, but
we'll see how he uses it to his advantage.
You don't think he's aloof? He knows that
he totally knows.
He's not stupid.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
I will have to get to it, but I wrote a really funny thing about Nola and about what she does at the end.
Okay, but like we're gonna get to Nola in just a hot second. But just to Monis's point, anybody who sleeps with as many women as he does
he knows.
is aware of the signals. It is very, very obvious when a woman gives you that much attention and looks at you like that. I mean, you felt that moment in the trailer where he's like, all right, I should probably.
I think he's making even James Bond jealous. I feel sometimes. I mean, he's making.
For sure. I've seen that guy's butt more than any other, and I can't wait to see it again.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna lie.
Those Aussies, they're built well.
He's a Kiwi, first of all, because I have
New
Kiwi
Zealand.
family, New Zealand, and so we're all very proud.
Okay, the Kiwis are even better built.
But I really want to know what the fans think. So when we get to the end of the show and we give out all our Twitter information, fans, I really want to know. Like, too much sex, too much butt.
Yeah,
not
Oriana
enough.
would like to know on a scale of 1 to 10. What do you think of Antony Starr's butt?
Yeah, Antony Starr's butt, and yeah, what do you think?
Good call.
That's my first question of the fans.
Okay, first question of the fans.
That is a great conversation, though. Yes.
Right?
Yeah,
is there any other show where you can see this much man butt?
You're
no.
right. No.
I don't know. I don't think so.
And even in a film where it's much more like approved of, no. And when it is, it's something disgusting to look at, like Sarah Marshall.
Yeah, forgetting Sarah Marshall.
That was not pretty.
Oh, you didn't like his big donger?
Just that nudity was like not hot. I would like to say this is a lot hotter.
Okay, I will agree that it is hotter.
You don't laugh at it. You do not laugh at all.
You do not laugh at Antony Starr's dick. I mean, butt. What? Okay. Let's move on. So, on the other side of the coin, we've got Kai, we've got Rebecca.
Oh, yeah.
Versus Alex and Nola, Alex Longshadow. First, let's talk about Kai and Rebecca. So, they've got this weird sexual chemistry that bothers me so much.
This whole scene was weird.
Where she watches him have sex with that woman,
the black
woman.
Prostitute, probably.
And you see his tats, the big cross,
and they're like bulging and undulating, and he's just
well, not just. I wasn't even bothered by it. That was the Japanese schoolgirl again. I wasn't bothered as much by that scene as I was by Rebecca's face, because
how much she liked
was
it.
so into watching it, and then she got upset about it.
Yeah,
and I was kind of thinking, girl,
the same way that he was like kind of watching her a lot last season.
Yes.
And I'm just like, are we gonna go there?
Yeah.
Are we gonna go there?
So weird.
Really,
threesome style? Is that it?
No,
like
not threesome. Worse, twosome.
Yeah, worse. If there was a threesome, it would be more palatable because there's be a barrier.
Yeah, there's a buffer
between the incestuous parts.
Yeah.
But ugh.
That's so, it's gross that she apparently, I don't know if she wants the D specifically, or at the very least
she wants Uncle D.
She wants the A. She wants the appreciation.
Yes.
Of Uncle D.
Yes. But so here, last season, I'm sorry to interrupt you. Last season, I really thought that it was just Kai, like being a creeper.
Yeah.
And like, he's going to take advantage of her. She's young. She doesn't know any better. This scene turned that on its head for me, where I thought, oh no, she really feels this way too.
Yeah.
She's upset that he's with someone else.
Yeah, but here's the interesting thing. So this is someone who comes from a very repressive culture where sexuality is pretty much demonized.
Right.
She rebelled in a huge way, was out having sex with random men.
Okay.
And then, she's had no one to really talk to her about what sex is in a positive or healthy way. So her relationship with it is very strange, is very primal. You know, it's a release, it's dangerous, it's dirty, and it's also something that she gives freely to people that she appreciates and that she loves. She has
like a currency.
Yeah, she has some level of attachment to Sheriff Hood. That's why she keeps going back to him.
Right.
She has a level of attachment to Kai for basically saving her and giving her a home.
Right.
So how does she separate those feelings? I don't know that she knows how.
I don't think she does either.
What do you
Especially,
think?
yeah, go ahead.
What do you think, Monis?
She's, I think, pretty much every character in this show, especially her and the lead, they're all animals. They're all beasts, you know? And this is just interesting because at least she was sober, so she's making rational decisions. You know, she's not on E or going to any raves or anything like that. Like, they're not putting any kind of drug storylines in it anymore. So, you know, I mean, she's an adult, and we'll see. But it was disturbing, but also humorous of him banging. I mean, the hooker out of nowhere. It was just like, whoa, all right, like, this is interesting.
I think that's I really like your point. I'm just thinking of it now of like kind of, you know, sex and love.
Yeah.
Sex is love to her, I think, because no other love has been shown in that culture, in that community. Like, there's not really anything loving about that family.
Familial love was completely broken for her because they shunned her.
But even before that, I don't know how much familial love was even shown.
Sure.
Right? Like, there's not a lot of embracing, and, you know, this is just like work hard.
Yeah.
That's all you work hard for your family.
Have you ever been in an Amish village? Have you ever worked?
I've never been to an Amish community. It's a very alien world to me.
Me too.
Have you been there?
I have. I stayed 2 nights. It is interesting. You go back in time. I mean, it's like The Village, but with a better ending.
Oh.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
Okay.
You are repressed. You go back and.
We might have to have a whole other podcast on this.
Oh my
yes,
God!
I know.
What if we did like an Amish retreat for the podcast?
I just brought this home.
We
Just made this
couldn't bring
personal.
our microphones and stuff, could we?
I don't think so. I don't think that they would want us to interview them while we're there.
No, I was going to say we could go and then
do a podcast live from a Pennsylvania Dutch. I kind of love this idea.
I love the idea.
Let's see if we can make that happen.
Okay.
I don't know if we have the cash to do that, but I
I'll
would
talk
love
to
to
Phil.
do it.
Thanks,
Yeah,
Marissa.
thanks, Marissa. Marissa, our wonderful, fantastic engineer. Thank you.
Thank you, Marissa.
Yes. All right. So we got Kai and Rebecca on one side of the coin. The other
Yes.
side, we have Alex Longshadow. This money that they lost, huge problem, especially
Okay.
after the hotel got blown
But
up.
did they lose it?
They lost most of it,
Did they lose it?
or they didn't lose most of it. They lost over $100,000.
So here's my question. My initial reaction was they didn't lose that. That was a setup.
What?
They didn't have markers. They didn't know where it was. Blah, blah, blah. I'm thinking insurance claim.
First of all, they talked about how they can't recoup any insurance money on the blown up
they
hotel.
did. Okay, that's because I watched a very bad copy of this
Okay.
episode. I'm sorry.
It's all right. His chief rival for chiefdom, I don't know if that's the term, but I'm going to go with it, tells him that we're not going to get any money back on this hotel because it was blown up under mysterious circumstances. The money that was stolen from the truck is maybe insured, but after the hotel was blown up, his leadership is seriously in question.
Right.
Yeah. The mayor died in this explosion. We still don't know why the mayor was even there. But because of this, he will do anything to stay in power, and he's got Nola, nipping at his heels, telling him what to do. And her methods of control are very draconian.
No kidding.
Yeah. It's just kill, torture.
More animal style, right?
Exactly.
Sex and violence.
Yes.
And I wrote in my notes that when she goes to sit down, I wrote down the Sugar Shack. Do we know what Sugar's bar's name is? I'm just calling it the Sugar Shack because I don't remember.
I know what it is, but I can't remember right
feel
now.
that's a song, too, or that should
Someone
be a song.
tweeted at us. I think it's like the Foundry or something
Yeah,
like
fans,
that.
please tweet us the name of Sugar's, bar, so I don't have to call it the Sugar Shack for the rest of the season. But he's in the middle
You
of
could call
telling.
Nola the Sugar Shack.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Sugar's telling Lucas not to push his luck, and here's Lucas kind of explaining that he's staying for Anna, and as he's explaining for Anastasia or Carrie Hopewell, whoever you decide she is, Nola walks in, literally sits down next to him, and goes for his weak spot, which I wrote down is his boner.
Yeah.
Okay? And within about 5 minutes or less, they're already back at his spot.
In 4 lines of dialogue,
Yes.
they're banging.
He goes from talking about why he's still there, about like his love of his life, to banging the rando that just drank Shiva's 25.
Do you have Shiva's 25? Do you live around here?
Oh, that's convenient.
That's convenient.
Let's go.
Let's see this place. 4 lines out.
Boom.
Yeah.
So you set the tone. She's top quality.
Right?
You know, she walks.
That Shiva's 25 is good stuff.
Okay,
Yes,
you mean her taste. I thought you were
Yes.
talking about her as a woman, and I'm just
You
like,
can read
that's
into
so
it.
gross.
You can read into it of what you want, but
Yeah.
that is very good booze. I'm just saying,
It is,
it
and
is
I-
very good booze.
I appreciate you calling that out because at my Christmas vacation I had some Shiva's, I think 15 year, and boy was that tasty.
Exactly. I have to say, as man, I was jealous. I was jealous of that scene. I would like Nola to come up. Oh, 4 lines of dialogue. Boom. I mean, there's no dating process whatsoever.
Nope.
But for Lucas Hood, this happens to him all the time.
Yeah.
the time.
He has, like, I'm sure it's very strange when he has a day when no woman propositions him.
Right.
I think there's been maybe one of those in the entire series of Banshee. I would probably say that's a fact. I'm sure.
Fun fact, we need to find out though.
Yeah.
Because there might not be.
Yeah, if he didn't have Carrie basically guarding him, Carrie and Siobhan checking in every day while he was healing, I'm sure he probably would have had
But even-
sex and reopened his stitches.
But even Carrie knew when he did. You know, she went and spied on him last season and saw that he was, busy.
yeah, that's true.
And that hurt her, but she was like, oh, well, I need to get over him. Mm-hmm.
Except then she totally banged him anyway.
Yeah.
Bad Carrie.
Yeah.
Bad.
I kind of hope that happens again.
Oh, well, we have a whole season to find out. So we've got this conflict brewing. We don't quite know what's going to happen next between Kai and Alex, but I don't think they're going to come to terms anytime soon.
No, I don't think so.
Yeah. Alex is very desperate to hold on to his seat as chief, and it's only going to get worse.
Yeah.
From what I've seen, it gets a lot worse.
Well, and especially what we did see us pedestrians, Matt Lieberman. We
Oh,
saw
sorry.
in the coming episode, what's coming up next. It does look like Rebecca is kidnapped.
Yes.
And Nola says this is to get to Proctor.
Yeah. Well,
So
we'll
we know
talk about that a bit more in predictions, just in
Okay.
case there are folks who didn't watch the coming attractions.
Okay, well, keep me on a leash then.
Yeah, no. We apologize for anyone who doesn't want to be spoiled. We love all the people out there. So we'll talk about that in a bit. We've got Gordon and Brock. Gordon he's in a huge funk ever since he found out that his wife was the daughter of a crime lord and is a really talented murderess and thief and is probably banging the sheriff. He's all kinds of bad
Can
news.
you refresh my memory? Gordon Hopewell knows that Deva is not
Is not his daughter.
He already knew that, but does he know that?
No.
He doesn't know that Sheriff Hood is.
No.
Okay.
He may suspect it, but he does not know that, and Deva does not know that either. She also knows that Gordon is not her father.
Right.
Hey, but she has a knack to steal. She has a knack to shoplift. She has it
She's
in her
got the
blood.
genetics.
Oh,
yes.
yeah. And she's also super manipulative.
Yep.
The way that she got out of that precinct was masterful and also really messed up.
Really messed up.
Oh, she's crazy.
Because what is she? I mean, I'm guessing around 15.
Yeah, she is
doesn't have her
15.
driver's license.
Yep.
She just shoplifted. She has an innocent friend with her, and she just.
And Beatty, I thought, was like more of the instigator last season, and even Beatty was shocked.
Yep.
Oh my God.
I know.
She just chose the dark side.
Yep.
She chose the dark side, and according to Jonathan, she has far, far further to go. Everyone is going to get darker this season. Everyone. I'm hoping even Deputy Yawners, who we didn't get a lot from this week, Demetrius Gross, first of all, has the best name in all of Hollywood. I'm going to say that right now, and I will defend it to the death. Demetrius
Can I
Gross
say it too?
is a great name.
Demetrius Gross. It just sounds good saying it.
Gross is last name?
Gross.
Gross.
Demetrius Gross.
That's a hearty name.
Yeah,
Hearty.
that is a beef stew of a
Yes.
name.
Yes.
Yes,
It is.
with carrots and peas and potatoes.
Potatoes.
Oh, yeah. I love his name, and I want to see more of him this season. He was always very dependable, and, I loved everything he did last season, but we still don't know that much about him.
Yeah.
I loved that episode where the school ransom episode where he inadvertently lets these guys get away, and then they're in the school, and that was a great episode for him. I hope we get to see more of him this season.
Agreed.
Deva is dealing with some stuff. Hopefully she will get some treatment.
Yeah.
Gordon, even back in the pilot, was like smoking pot in the shower, even before he found this stuff out. So I feel like he's going to just spiral out even further. And he makes this deal with Brock where he's like, hey man, anything goes down, anything, you tell me immediately.
I think that less about smoking pot in the shower and more that his entire life is in shambles.
Yeah, well, that's
is probably the
right.
reason he's going to spiral out of control.
Yeah.
But not just that, but Sheriff Hood is taunting him. His mere presence is just an FU.
It's a dick slap in the face.
It is.
Yeah.
I'm going to be your little Japanese schoolgirl now.
It is.
It is.
He is whipping it out, and he's repeatedly beating Gordon in the face with it,
And it's
and
probably
then
really-
putting it in Gordon's wife's mouth. Okay.
I was going to say it's probably really big too.
Yeah, it's probably the second Twitter question, how big is
it?
Antony Starr's dick?
No judgment. Without judgment, please.
Without judgment.
Without judgment.
No, we don't want you to be discerning about this. We want you to have a very blunt answer about the size of... We're having a great time here.
Yes,
and
we
I
are.
hope that you are too.
Yes, we
Because this
do.
is exactly the tone that a Banshee podcast should have.
Yes.
Okay, so we got Gordon, we got Brock, we got Deva.
What about the Catholic Church rabbit?
We're going to talk about that. This is the last topic, I
Rein
think.
me in.
Okay, you're not
Wait,
even heading that
is this the
far
squirrel?
outside.
Is this the...
Okay, let's talk about Rabbit. So, Rabbit, at the top of the season, we aren't sure if he's alive, and then we get a very firm answer that he's alive when he wakes up in the forest, and he grabs the squirrel, and he looks at it, and I'm like, vampire! Vampire! And he looks at it like it's like a burger or something, or trash, and then he squeezes the life from it.
Pretty bird.
Was that not too? It was too much, but in the best way possible.
It was like operatic.
I was looking at going, come on, but then I thought, no, it's really good.
Yeah.
It's so pulpy, it's so campy, but I love it because
I love
at
it.
the end of the season, I think we all knew I want Rabbit to be dead, but I know he's not dead. He can't
Yeah.
be dead. So to see him come back in that way, you're right. It was
It's like when you're writing a show and when you're a fan of a show, right? When you're a fan of a show, you want the best for all of these characters because you love them so much and you want to see them having better lives and be happy and be resolved. But then as a writer, you need to do the exact opposite so that we get the most conflict.
Well, I liked what Jonathan Tropper said in that interview with you about Rabbit. He just said that, unlike every other character that has some sort of moral compass, Rabbit has none. He is just a total sociopath.
Yeah.
And that he would just as soon kill his daughter for, turning him in, and then let her betray him.
Yeah.
Which is just insane.
Which is just insane because all he talks about is how much he loves her and that everything is fueled by love.
Which makes him such a juicy character.
Yeah. So we're introduced to this brand new character through Agent Racine. Oh my god, we didn't even talk about the fact that Agent Xavier basically got pushed out of Banshee, so that's kind of just taken care of for the time being.
First episode, poor guy.
Yeah. He was kind of pushed out, and now we've got this priest who's Rabbit's brother, played by the amazing Julian Sands, who, I'm watching this and I'm like, is that Julian Sands? And it totally is.
Okay, where would I find him? Where would I know him from?
He's just one of those, indelible British actors who plays great villains. I can't give you an exact movie or show, but he's everywhere. He's one of those guys. And, Racine is just chomping his cigarette and taunting this guy, and they have this great conversation about God and about life, and then Agent Racine pisses on the church.
Literally.
Which is wonderful. The post-credit scenes on this show I love because usually they don't add any, they just add little character bits. They're not going to give you more information, but you have to watch them all because every once in a while they do give you more information.
Right.
Yeah. Okay, unfortunately, we need to start to wrap up, and I know you have some news and gossip, so let's jump into that.
AfterBuzz TV News.
Well, the news and gossip I have were actually just a few different reports from Variety and Entertainment Weekly. I have posted them on my Twitter profile, which you can follow at Miss Oriana Leo. And because we're short on time, I'm just going to recap them, but mainly just talking about how pulpy Banshee is. And some of the titles of these articles I loved, talking about just so much sex and violence like we love. But some articles talked about how came up a little bit empty for this season.
Whoa.
I know, and I kind of immediately felt defensive because I don't think that could ever be true.
Yeah.
And that may be a little bit too campy. And I think that we can all judge for ourselves this season.
Yeah. Having seen the episodes, I completely disagree with that assessment, the assessment that they have, and I'm curious to see what fans think as it starts to roll out over these next few weeks.
And check out the articles. I think it also comes from the critic's perspective. If this isn't their type of show, they really shouldn't be watching it and writing articles about it. So there.
Totally. Okay, let's jump into predictions.
And now, your AfterBuzz TV predictions.
Monis has never seen the funky flashing lights that we get when we do predictions. Okay, Monis, I'm going to ask you to go first. What do you think is going to happen next episode and into the season? We know that we've got this Rebecca Bowman kidnapping, and that's kind of front and center in episode 2.
You know, I actually think it's going to be next episode. It's just going to get hot. It's just going to get really, really hot. I mean, you know, we're going to lose all this exposition. Now we're going to get into the nitty gritty, the dirty. I mean, we're in the dirty Pennsylvania right now. I mean, we ended it with that hot scene, so we're gonna see a lot more.
Ooh, I like that.
Yes, we're gonna see where that goes and the consequences of that.
Okay, so you think that he's still going to be sleeping with Nola? You think that's a regular thing?
I really think so. Or Nola's going to be really sleeping with him because obviously she's the Black Widow here.
Totly.
Like it.
Oriana, what do you think?
I think there's going to be more sex and more violence. That's my prediction.
Okay. I know I've seen the first 5, so it's unfair for me to give like predictions. But I guess
be careful, tread lightly here.
What I'll say is for the season, I hope that the situation gets much more complicated. I don't know if Rabbit is going to be our main villain this year. I think that the confrontation between Kai and the Longshadows is going to get even more epic to the point that Sheriff Hood has to step in. I love what I've seen so far this season. I can't wait for everyone to see it. Okay, Monis Rose, where can the people find you online?
At Rest Fiction, Restaurant Fiction. That is Twitter or restaurantfiction.com.
Okay, and they can also find you on the Sherlock After Show here.
Sherlock, yes, absolutely.
Okay, and Miss Oriana Leo.
You can find me on Twitter at Miss Oriana Leo, Instagram Oriana Leo, and I'm on Facebook too. I'm just everywhere. Please be my friend. You can also find me on the Killer Women After Show, as well as American Horror Story, which is wrapping up in a few weeks, and of course here on Banshee.
Okay, and you can find me on Twitter at Matt Lieberman. That's MattLieberman. You can find me here on AfterBuzz TV. I'm kind of on everything. So I'm just going to give you the list. I'm sorry if I lose anything. I am on Sleepy Hollow, Almost Human, Marvel's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. We got Sherlock. Doctor Who's coming back with Doctor Who Classics. We got Lost Girl coming up. We got Helix on Sci-Fi, which is so cool. If you haven't seen it, it's badass. It's a sci-fi horror show. You need to watch the show. I'm also on Justified every now and again, fill in on some other shows. I love everyone here. Good night. We will see you next week.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Banshees rule!
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.
Thank you for watching AfterBuzz TV on YouTube. For more of your favorite after shows and interviews, subscribe to our channel here, and be sure to share your opinion on the episode in the comment section below here. We'd love to see what you guys are buzzing about. Thanks again. Buzz you later.